Hiya, right, I'm just going to make this quick video to try and help you lot understand where the Bitcoin price is going. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the next few weeks or months. And the same sort of basic tools can apply to show you where it's going to go in the long term as well. It does work on a sort of 5-minute basis, but there's a lot of people who think it's going to go up from here, and I can just explain to you why it's definitely going to go down for a price correction within the next month at least, to 2 months at the most. So what we're looking at here, this is the daily chart. We're on a 5-minute time scale. We've got ups and downs. And the interesting thing about Bitcoin is that there's a lot of people investing money into Bitcoin for the long term, which is why we see such a, just to zoom back a bit, such a strength in its gain compared to a lot of the other altcoins. Okay, so there's a difference between people trading and people investing. Bitcoin has got a market cap which is absolutely phenomenal. I believe at the moment it's about 10 times more than gold. Okay, so it's extremely valuable for what it is. The amount of money that's in Bitcoin as a collective investment at the moment is just it's massive, and that helps it gain such strength. If you've been paying attention to the markets recently, a lot of the coins have been going down, whereas Bitcoin has been holding strong. Okay, it's got this upward trend since its big bull momentum here. This is, from what I can work out, due to the huge amounts of people investing into Bitcoin rather than just trading. Okay, so investment money versus trading money is different. You've got to look at people who are sort of probably just throwing money into it and hoping for the best, and people who have got a bit more insight into it, putting money into it too for a long term. I'm talking 2 to 3 years before you can consider cashing out with substantial gains. Now trading is different. Trading is done minute to minute, second to second really, and there's just as much incentive for it to go down as it is to go up if you're a trader. For those who don't know, obviously you can short sell a stock. So that means you don't have any holdings in it whatsoever. It means that you essentially borrow money to sell the stock that you don't own in a complex method of buying and selling, and make as much profit on the down as you would if it was to do the opposite and going up. So there's as much incentive for traders for a price to go down than there is to go up. So that's an important message. And when they're called bears, for those who don't know, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but for people who are bearish on the market, they are at this moment in time, I'm sure, poised for a big bear momentum. And the reason I'm saying that is, well, first of all, let's look at this chart. Okay, so this chart looks very positive. We've gone up. We had a sort of correction point here, a bit of a consolidation point to a support level around 5,000, and then we had to continue up to another high of 5,300, and now we're in a consolidation period again. So it's just going sideways. If I was a short-term trader with a bullish momentum wanting it to go up, I would probably not touch it right now, and this is the reason. We have to look a bit further out to get an understanding of it. Why? So let's have a look. Okay, so we're going to move to 4-hour charts. Okay, 4-hour charts. This shows us where we were at its height. Okay, huge, massive amount, and look at where we went. Now that was a bear market. It's well established to most people who do these sort of things that Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle, and one of those 4 years is a bear trend. So it spends 1 year going all the way down to reaching its lowest point, which for us appeared around here, around sort of February, mid-February. Now at the time people didn't really know that. I mean, you could make a wild guess that was where it was, but it would kind of be a guess. You need certain little tells to confirm that was its lowest point, and we had a gain and down to find a new support level, and up and down, and now it's safe to assume that the bear market is ended. So what we're looking at here is the difference between there and there is huge. That's going to take a couple of years or more to get to that level again, and that's definite, really. I mean, I can't say 100%, and anything's possible, but I wouldn't expect to see this level of high for quite a long time now. So where are we going to go? Let's have a look at this chart. So we're zooming in a little bit more. These candlesticks obviously represent people buying and people selling, and as I said before, if you're short selling a stock, you're wanting the stock to go down. You don't necessarily own it, you're making money on it going down. What we're looking at here with these candlesticks going up and down in a range of these bands here called Bollinger Bands. The top of the Bollinger Band represents a support level, as does the bottom. So a trader, whether they're doing it on a 5-minute scale, a 1-minute scale, a 10-minute scale, hourly scale, daily scale, yearly scale, will look at these bands because they represent support levels, just in different time frames. So look at here. Okay, so we're just for example on the 21st. Okay, so we had a rise up at the top of the Bollinger Band, it hit and then fell back down. Anyone who's trading this, and I mean trading, will be looking at that, saying it's right in the top, it's right in the top, it's right in the top. If it hits this top and peaks above it, it means it's going to be overbought, which means there's more than likely chance it's going to fall back down. So I'm going to short sell here because law of averages would say that it's going to come down. That's obviously what happened here. Hit the Bollinger Band standard and fell back down. Then it hit the bottom, climbed back up to the top. If you wanted to buy some, great point here, it broke the Bollinger Band, it's going to start climbing back up. And these moving averages can also offer some support as well. So if you really wanted to play it safe, you buy here, it climbs up to the support level, and here we see it couldn't break through that moving average support and trickled down again. Here we see it break down underneath the Bollinger Band and climb back up to the top. Most people would think is a good point to do a short sell, and then we start to see some changes, and this is what led to here, because these are changes that Bitcoin hasn't seen in quite a long time. So people were thinking, right, we're going to see some movement. No, I don't think people could have sort of recognized that this is the change it's going to be, but there was changes here. So what we saw was this bull momentum going right up here, right up here. Now, bearing in mind what I've been telling you about the Bollinger Bands, using in this little area here on the 21st as an example of how it works, we can look at the size of this Bollinger Band. Now the Bollinger Bands move, they change in size depending on the volatility of the buying and selling within it, and it's generally established that about 95% of the time the candlesticks remain in the Bollinger Band. They do break 5% of the time, sometimes more. Obviously with something like Bitcoin, probably it's going to be breaking a little more, but roughly speaking 95% of the time it stays within these Bollinger Bands. Now we have had huge gains riding right to the top, and what we saw here, it peaked here at this Bollinger Band here and fell back down. Now we're riding to the top again. Where's it going to go? Back down. And remember, we've got support levels here and support levels here. We're at the top at the moment. I would suggest, here we go, we're climbing right to the top, I would suggest that we're going to fall back down. Now we can see on this time frame, which is a 4-hour time frame, it's quite a large way to look at the time of a Bitcoin movement. But what we're looking at is it's at the top and it's reaching support in the moving averages, and the Bollinger Bands are shrinking. Now it keeps going to the top. Where's it going to go from here? Okay, where will it go? Maximum sort of amount that it's going to hit, and it keeps testing, is around this level. Now that I have a strong feeling that the investment money coming into Bitcoin is reaching its peak at the moment, and the trading volume is ready to be bearish. People are waiting for that investment to stop trickling in, and the momentum will change. And I strongly believe that we're going to come back down to a support level of around here. it's safe to assume in my mind that this could be the lowest point that we'll reach in the next month. Now, how soon is it going to get there? It's difficult to say, really. It's, anything's really possible with Bitcoin, but I just want you to get your head around how these trends work and why they're trending. So trends up, investment money pouring in, people riding the bull momentum as traders because they want to buy too as well as sell, and then the bears coming in, pop, testing that support level. Are we going to see big gains from this point? I say it's very unlikely. So I just want you to sort of get that into your head and try and understand where we're going to go in this next 2 weeks, month to 2 months. We're going to reach a peak, which is probably going to be around here at the smallest. Perhaps we could reach as high as 6,000 before we start to see the bears kicking in and dragging the price all the way down to perhaps 4,800, maybe even lower. But just by looking at the support levels tested so far, it's got support at 5,000 here. You can see 2 bears not being able to break through there. We've got support at around here. Now if it breaks this support level here on its decline, we could see it fall back down to here. Now, is that possible? Yeah, it is possible. It's very likely. So as a trader, I am not looking to trade Bitcoin at the moment. As an investor, and I'm talking investment for the long term, let's look at the long term map. And the long term, I definitely am. I definitely am looking to trade, should I say invest in the long term. But trading in the short term can offer as much money in a quicker time frame. I'm not looking to trade unless I'm waiting for a short sell so we can bring it all the way back down to here or to here. Anyway, I hope that was useful for you. Sorry to bore you, and catch me on the next one.